don't have my good glasses on. Try to keep up with Al Roker, change it with the outfit. Hi, thank you for joining us today for Meet the Makers Live. My name is Patricia Sampson, and I'm the manager of retail shops and visual merchandising here at the High Museum of Art. Today, I'll introduce you to 5 of our 10 local artisans and creatives who are participating in this year's virtual holiday market. If you missed yesterday's episode now, you can view that on Instagram or Facebook. Just go to our Instagram or Facebook page and you can see the episode in its entirety. Now, also assisting me today is our very own Ashley Wills, who is our media production specialist. She'll take your questions, just send them to her in the chat box, and we'll be sure to answer them for you. Hey, Ashley, how are you today?
Hey, Patricia, I'm doing great. Just a reminder for everybody that we are streaming live on Facebook as well, and we are watching for questions there, so please send them in.
Yes, send in your questions. And another reminder for today, if you'd like to see, so that you can see all of our screens, please open up into gallery mode and you can see all of our screens and catch all of the artisans and see all the beautiful product we have on display. And remember, most importantly, that you can begin your shopping experience just by a click on our website link. If you click hi.org, you can go to shop and begin shopping all of these wonderful products from such great artisans around the Atlanta area. Now, today is a very special day. You're joining us for this episode, and it is Museum Store Sunday. Museum Store Sunday is an initiative that's been put together by the Museum Store Association, and there are museums all across America, in Europe, Australia, and on 4 continents who are celebrating this day today. And if you shop with us, you will get this lovely tote bag for any purchases of $50 or more. We'll send you this lovely tote bag. You can shop online and you can shop in store with us. We are open today from 12 till 5 p.m. Now, our first artist is Tracy Blake. She's a designer and the founder of Vella Mode Jewelry. Welcome, Tracy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I think you turned a little sideways on us.
Can you flip the camera, please?
Okay.
There it is.
Oh, the fun of Zoom, right? And video and being live. This is a live show. No pre-taping for us.
Even when you test, things don't go wrong.
Yeah, it's so wonderful to have you with us today. How are you?
It's good to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah, we're excited. We're excited. You have been in many of our holiday markets when we've had them here on campus, and it's just so much fun to do it Zoom, even though we like to be in person. I know people want to touch and feel the merchandise, but you have been with us for a very long time, and we so appreciate you, and we enjoy working with you, and your products are fantastic. So, so first off, let's since I know you, let's get our audience familiar with you. And if you can tell me a little bit about the Vella Mode jewelry line and how you got started.
Well, Vella Mode was established about 10 years ago. My designs is pretty much a reflection of me. It's about my feelings, about life, and I reflect a lot of my childhood. A lot of the designs it's not particularly a statement on the piece that reflect what happened to me in life, but it's a symbol of what I experienced throughout life. Like the willow earrings that you may have on your website. I was reflecting on this beautiful willow tree that I used to pass when I attended college. And it was the largest tree pretty much on campus. And willows were so long, and it was very windy in the area where I went to school. And every time I walked by the tree, just swayed so beautifully. So that's what I was reflecting on when I designed that piece. So.
Wow, that's wonderful. It's so nice to know that when your customers or our customers purchase a piece of your jewelry, they're not only just getting something that's decorative, but it's something that's been thoughtful and created and designed for a specific purpose. That's really great. Yeah, so I know your background is not in jewelry, and you are a self-taught artist.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how you came into designing.
Well, my education is marketing, but I did work in the design field and kitchen and bath industry, where I was exposed to a lot of high-end designers like Ross Lovegrove. But with jewelry, I just stumbled on it actually. It was just one Sunday afternoon. I was bored, I guess, and I went into a craft store and I walked the aisles of jewelry making, and I had no idea that people could actually make their own jewelry. So I told myself I can do that. So I started doing it, but I was still working corporate America, and it really didn't start as a business for me until my son was born. I was home for a spell, and I really was into being a mom, for my son. So I left work, and I wanted to also make money. So that's when I started the business, Vella Mode, to start making jewelry on my own, as well as take care of my son.
Yeah, so it seems like you just had that creative mom spirit and attitude about everything.
Well, yes, and plus my father owned a construction company, so I grew up in the watching him build furniture, build houses, and I guess that's where my creative gene comes from. My dad, and just
Wow.
watching him use tools. I guess just the intuition of knowing how to create mindfully, and then just to use the tools, and then just to just create what I what comes to mind. I guess that's where my creative gene comes from him.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. See, I didn't know that about you. I didn't know your father was in construction, and you have that sense of building, which is reflective in your pieces because they're somewhat like a sculpture. They're very clean, and they're very, I would say, they have different shapes. And so, yeah.
I love architecture. I love design.
Mhm.
And as you know, my husband is German. And so traveling to Europe, I guess I implement the clean, modern lines. I guess it's reflective of what I see in Europe, because I grew up in South Georgia, so I grew up learning the, I guess, traditional aesthetics. But when I entered the kitchen and bath industry and then traveling overseas, I fell in love with modern aesthetics, and I've continued that in my work.
Yeah, yeah, it's I just love it. Now I know that that's how you started, but now you've transitioned into creating resin. And I have these beautiful, I'm going to show them, Ashley, and I know you're going to want one. These beautiful pieces here that you just created called the Halo bracelet. And they are so nice. They're very light. I have all three of them on. They're just absolutely beautiful. And the colors is it's amazing. So how'd you get started with desire to want to create resin.
And I'm also in the halo pendant here.
Yes, I see.
Well, my aesthetic is I try to mix the tradition of my upbringing and try to mesh that with my husband's tradition. So I try to mesh the classic versus the modern. And a lot of my materials, especially for the resin aluminum, I import that from Germany. But during the pandemic, I ran into a situation where the products just was not easily available because a lot of the that I use comes from Italy. But as you know, Italy got very hit with COVID, and I guess production wasn't, it stalled for a bit, and shipping overseas became very, very expensive, and materials was lacking. But I still had a lot of wholesale orders to fulfill. So I decided to start making my own resin to buy material from the United States, so I did not have to, rely on European import. So that's when I started making jewelry out of resin. I have the pieces here, which is you have the moss and the smoke online at high.org, and I also have the I call this ice. And you've shown the blue resin also. So that's how I started making pieces out of resin.
And Ashley, I think you have a question. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Our question is, how has your craft improved over the years compared to the earliest jewelry you produced?
Well, I started, I think it's because of the materials. I think I started making pieces out of brass, and now I use fine metal, which is 14 karat gold filled and silver filled. And that really brings out the quality within the piece. So as you can see, I make a lot of pieces out of a gold field. I like using a very hard wire. And as you can see, it's a very modern design. And I think that's how my craft improved over time. It's the metals and then the tools I use. Here, I have different mandrels. Oh, it's a heavy mandrel. This is I use for bracelet design. And then this is a mandrel I use for ring design or necklace designs.
Oh, that's interesting. I would have never thought that the tools would be that big, or just to make a bracelet or a ring. I mean, that's pretty hefty.
Yes.
Wow. Well, Tracy, I talked about earlier that today is Museum Store Sunday, and I know that you are a part of the Museum Store Association, and so glad to have you as one of our vendor members. And I know that you also received awards for your designs during trade shows, for your booth design with us. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience with the Museum Store Sunday Museum Store Association, and talk to people about that.
Well, Museum Store Association is a very welcoming community. I have a lot of people within the organization that have helped guide me on, whatever question I have. And I learn a lot from different people within the organization. And I think you guys at the High Museum introduced me to the Museum Store Association.
Yeah.
Being an artist, and I guess being at home, and I do a lot of my work within my workspace here, so I don't get out much. But when I do, I learned a lot of information. And Museum Store is one of the things that I learned from the High Museum. And I don't know, It's just when I go to trade shows, for example, New York Now and in New York, I get to meet more people within the museum store organization, and it's been very rewarding for my company. I'm in a lot of museums, and they seem to appreciate the aesthetic of my designs because, as we discussed before, is they're modern and they're very simple, but I don't know, I guess they speak to the arts community because I like to implement a lot of artistic features within my designs, and I guess my designs complement the organization within itself.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a great organization in that it supports museums and cultural institutions around the country and around the world, and to help us to learn our business better and to be more profitable for our organization so that we can support the mission of our museums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Any more questions, Ashley?
No questions right now, but if you have any, we're happy to still take them even after we've moved on to a different artisan. I do want to say that we are promoting the artisan market through our Facebook page and our Instagram page, and you can definitely hear more from Tracy through her videos that we posted on Monday. So please check those out, and definitely come log on to the shop on hi.org and check out what she has in stock because it's all very beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, Tracy, thank you so much for taking time out and being with us this morning. We love your designs and we look forward to continuing working with you. And I hope you have a happy holiday. And tell your son, I'm sorry he missed out on the stuffing this year. It's all gone.
Thank you. And I'm so happy to be represented by the High Museum for the Atlanta, Georgia area.
All right. Take care. Happy holiday.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. All right. Wow, that was so exciting. I just love Tracy's work. And now we have another mother-daughter team. Actually, yesterday we had a mother-son team, and today we have a mother-daughter team, Lorena Griffin and her daughter, Elaine Griffin Harris. So here's Lorena, and we'd like to welcome you this morning to Meet the Makers. How are you, Lorena?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me. I wanted to say
Good.
my daughter, Aline, is not with us. She is extremely pregnant and on bed rest. And so she's out of the picture, but she certainly is a part of the business, the Green Griffin.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Yes,
something positive in this year of 2020.
Yes, something positive. I know I was blessed with a new nephew myself, and so even in the midst of a pandemic, life is still evolving and creating. So that's exciting news to hear. So tell me, Lorena, you create products that are recycled, upcycled, from wool sweaters. And, they're just fantastic items that we have in the shop. I can see all your pieces behind you there.
I did sit in front of my sweater wall. It's been interesting because in my community, there's sort of a saying, use what you have. Mm-hmm. And a lot of artists, and I'm guilty of this too, you see a new product and, oh, I want to try that, or, oh, that would be fun. And, you're always accumulating and not always making. So, pandemic has meant stay home and use what you have. And it really has. I tend to be a hoarder. So yes, I have plenty. So I actually have an art background. I have a master's degree in fine arts from the University of Georgia in printmaking. And I do a lot of paper, works on paper, and I love to do watercolor and other what I consider a little more serious. But this actually started, I'm a retired librarian. I worked in the public library world for many years, and it started about 10 years ago with a holiday party. We always had the white elephant gift exchange, and people got kind of tired of getting junk that they didn't really want. So one year we said, let's have a theme of eco-friendly gifts. And so, you know, some people gave reusable shopping bags and etc. And we had just gotten a lot of books in the library on making things with sweaters. And
Wow.
so I made a purse, and it was out of recycled sweaters, and it went over big at the party. And then I was hooked. It was just so much fun. And once my daughter got into it, she was in college at the time. That just made it that much more fun. She was in her early 20s at the beginning, and it was a really nice way for us to bond, making things together, thrift store shopping together, and doing the fair.
So, yeah, so you get all of that from thrift stores or in
Mostly.
donations?
Yeah, it's funny how many times you know, we'll be at a craft fair and somebody's like, oh, I've got sweaters at home with holes in them. Do you want them? And we always say yes. I actually got an email from somebody through the High Museum just a week ago offering to send me her sweaters.
Wow, I might have a couple too.
Everybody does. And when you talk about felting a sweater, and it's just like, well, yes, you've done it, whether you meant to or not. Everybody has shrunken a sweater before. And when they shrink, those fibers stick together, and that makes it where you can cut into the fabric and it won't unravel. So we have our favorite thrift stores. And of course, anytime we travel anywhere, we always have to check out those thrift stores. And we use only 100% animal fibers because that's all that will turn into the felt.
Right.
So really,
do you ever use like cotton as well with it, or is it just all felt and 100%
cotton
wool?
will not felt. If you look at the fiber itself, it's like a cylinder, and if you look at a fiber of wool, it's got little barbs on it. If you look at it like under a microscope, and those little barbs catch on to the other fibers, and that's what makes it all stick together and not unravel. So I sew with cotton. I make a lot of things, but none of the felted items with cotton.
Oh, okay. I have one of your items here. I'm going to show that up, this beautiful crown. I'm going to hold that up so everyone can see how beautiful that is. And it's hand sewn, right? You've done a lot of this hand sewn.
We do a lot of hand sewing. We do a lot of what they call needle felting, where you just take the fibers and jab them into the wool and paint with it. The crowns come from the Waldorf community. It's a private school all over the world. It started in Germany. They do a lot of handwork, and I have a granddaughter. My daughter has a daughter who's attending a Waldorf program, and they use a lot of felt and very earthy, I guess. I think we're both kind of stuck in hippie mode. I grew up in the 60s and 70s, and I have that, you know, Tracy's was so clean and modern, and I'm envious of that, but I'm kind of all over the place. I'm very bohemian and textural and colorful. And I did think it was interesting that her father was in construction, because mine was also. And
wow.
Growing up, we had a workshop in our house with power tools, and my mom sewed. And so we've always just made stuff, you know. If something breaks, we don't get a new one, we fix it. And so we live out in the woods in Decula, and we have chickens, and we raise bees, and, you know, it's all very, I don't know. It kind of goes with the eco-friendly aesthetic of our product. So.
Yeah. Now, you know, I grew up in New York, but my mom was a seamstress there. And so I understand, I grew up with sewing, and, you know, I can remember in 7th grade having our sewing machine broke and having to finish a garment that we were making for my pictures by hand. And just, you know, it's such a great skill to have. will always take you through life, whether you have to sew something on a quick, a seam comes apart, or you have to sew a sock or something, but it's always a great skill to have. And, I know when I grew up, we had home economics. I don't know if they
I
still
do.
have that in schools, but it just became so valuable because it led me on into what I do today, actually. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you never know.
I've actually taught like middle schoolers how to sew, and they get so excited. We always start with pajama pants because that's an easy first project. And when they actually have something they can put on and wear, it's just, they just light up and
Yeah. Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. So Ashley, do we have any questions out there just yet? Ashley's with us, and
Yes, we do. Can you hear me? I unmuted myself, right? Yeah. How many items does one sweater produce? About how many sweaters do you have on hand at a time? It's a great question.
Well, it depends on the item, of course. We make a lot of small things, like we make pot holders, and
cool.
so I can get a lot of pot holders out of a sweater. If I'm making something bigger, like I've made quilts before, that might take multiple sweaters. So basically with each sweater, you've got a nice big, square from the front and the back. And then if you open up the seam on the arm, you can have a nice, pretty big piece there too. And a lot of things we mix sweaters. So it's really hard to say, like, this is a hat that's under construction. It's not finished, but you can see this is one sweater, this is another, and the flower is even another. So probably I'd say 3 items by the time you cut around the holes that are in the sweaters and everything else. But it just depends on what you're making. And how many sweaters I have at a time is embarrassing. It really is. What you see behind me is, I think you see 6 cubes. No, yeah, you see 6 cubes, and actually there are 18 cubes, and
Wow.
across the room is a whole different pile, and they just they multiply in the night. I don't know what happens. I always love
feeding them.
I love sweaters, and I grew up in Florida, and now I live here, and so it's fun because I can touch them and look at them and play with them, but I don't get to wear them as much as I would like to. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, your designs are so much fun, and they're very whimsical, even with the hats, and you do pillows as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you come up with all the different designs and creativity? Do you just look at the sweater and then kind of start and go in one direction or another?
It's, my daughter and I really play off of each other. She'll come up with something and it'll spark something in me. We scan the internet a lot. I hate to admit, but Pinterest is my friend. I'm always looking at other people's ideas. The Waldorf stuff, we love, these are some pot holders that are little gnomes. We're big into gnomes.
Cute.
Yeah, and then we make the stuffed gnomes as well. So the gnomes are actually in our logo. That's how much a part of us they are. So I don't know. We just have fun. Just play.
Yeah. I know you
because go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I'm retired, I can have fun. It's I can do what I want, and if it sells, great, and if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. I just move on.
Right. So I know you during the pandemic, when we were all quarantined, you and your daughter began making face masks, and you donated those. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, when we first went into quarantine back in like March and April, you were seeing there was no of the protective equipment was really hard to come by, and nurses and doctors even were reusing their masks, and you felt kind of helpless. You wanted to help and do something, and there didn't seem like much you could do. And There were actually two women in Atlanta, and I apologize, I can't tell you their names, but they started a group called Sewing Masks for Atlanta Hospitals. And within a week, there were thousands of followers and contributors. It just mushroomed, and it ended up all over the country. They expanded to from sewing masks for Atlanta hospitals to area hospitals, and then it went, it just kept going and going. And all told, I think they made 80,000 masks or something.
Wow.
And then they sparked other organizations that did the same thing in other places. So my daughter and I probably made about 300. And
Wow.
I go to the Unitarian Universalist Church out in Gwinnett, and we started a group there making them. We were a drop-off location. They had a real good distribution center, or system. And so there were different places you could drop off, and that tier would, bring them to the next place. And we also ended up making them for the Navajo Nation. They needed them very badly, and they still do, I think. So now, you can find masks everywhere, of course, but at the time you really couldn't.
Wow, that was a great contribution to our community. And I'm sure and know that the people who received those masks truly appreciated it. And I think Ashley might have a question for us.
Yeah, real quick, because we're running out of time, but one of our viewers on Facebook is wondering if you would ever offer Zoom sewing classes for children.
Nice.
Possibly. She could email me at thegreengriffin@gmail.com, and we could talk about it. I have done the classes. I enjoy doing it. So it's something I'd consider.
Awesome. Well, Lorraine, it has been wonderful chatting with you this morning. And please give my best regards to, Lorena, and I was thinking Elena, but please give her our regards, and we'll talk with you soon, and happy holidays.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I enjoyed it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, our next creative is the founder of Besida brand. She's taken her love for fashion and fused that with her culture and heritage. So let's please welcome Miss Sophia Dana Oki. Did I say your name correct? Yeah, here you go.
There it is.
Okiti, right?
Okotie.
Okotie. There you go. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you.
Wow, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
I love the outfit. I think they can get that outfit. Yeah, beautiful. Model for us.
Well, this is available at the High Museum right now.
Yes, absolutely it is. It's actually two pieces. It's a skirt and a beautiful top. And we do have that here at the High Museum, and we also have it on our web shop. So people can go to www.high.org and click, and it can be theirs. So why don't you tell me a little more about Besida, the company and the brand?
Right, so Besida is a women's wear brand. We mainly make clothes out of African prints. So a lot of those bold colors that you're used to seeing in West African nations, that's what we create our clothes from. We focus on sustainability and just making sure that our clothes are made ethically. So we make everything in Nigeria. We actually have a studio, a small workshop there of about five tailors that create all of our garments. So all of our garments are made in-house. We're really, really proud of that.
Wow, I love it. I love the fact that you have taken your culture and connected and made a bridge between America and Nigeria, and you also support the community that you come from. So you're giving back to your community. I think that's a wonderful thing. Supporting those artisans there.
Yeah, that's really important for me just because I feel like I have the best of both worlds. You know, I'm Nigerian, I was born there, but I was raised here. So a lot of my background is here in America.
Mm.
And Nigeria, for a long time, for me was a memory. So when I was able to go back home and revisit after school, it ignited my passion to want to go back and go back often. So
Mhm.
that's where kind of was born, was out of my passion for Nigerian culture, but also the fact that I live here and I love America as well. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I know Tracy, started importing her materials. That's how she started her company. And with COVID, she said she had to switch a little bit to
right.
American products. So how have you seen the market in terms of importing garments from Nigeria to here to America?
So for about 2 months, I guess from April to June, we weren't able to import large bulks of items. So usually maybe one of our imports is 300 pounds, and that is imported via aircraft. So Nigeria shut down the airports. We weren't able to bring in our garments. However, we were still able to ship out smaller packages. So like our masks and our headbands, which our masks were a big hit this year, we were able to ship those in just using DHL and courier services to bring them in. So we did see a problem at the beginning of the year, but everything is at the beginning of the pandemic, I should say, but everything is back to normal as far as importing goes.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I know you did mention the mask, which I have one right here. And this is
That is a
actually
very
mine.
popular.
Yes, they are very popular. Every time I'm out wearing my mask, uh, I always get compliments. Compliments. People just say, "Oh, I love your mask," and they have been a favorite here at the museum. We have sold many of them. I think we've done several orders thus far, and
Yes,
probably will continue to
grateful
do
for that.
so. Yeah, and the one thing I like about it is that they are like I can wear it on this side, and if I want, I can also wear it this way as well. So you get a twofer.
That's part of what I love about it too, is just that sustainability that um, you can rewash these over and over
Hmm.
again. I have customers who are wearing the same mask from like April,
Yeah.
and we're just washing them over. We started adding these adjustable toggles there, and of course,
Oh,
like
great.
we added the headbands with them
Oh,
too,
yeah.
in a cute way that ladies have been able to stay safe and stylish at the same time.
Yes. And I noticed that our ladies here at the museum, they like to purchase the mask and the head wrap that matches. So they have a set and, are looking cool and stylish out there, while staying safe.
Right. It's really a unique way because I mean our smiles really were the things that showed our expression, our happiness, our joy, and having to cover our faces up for a lot of people is just was not. A lot of ladies didn't like that. So I think with the mask, they're still able to show their personality, show their joy with just the vibrant prints.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Ashley, do we have any questions out there? Oh, great. Ashley has
Yeah,
some
we got a
questions.
question.
Yeah.
One question is, all of your styles are so versatile. Why is sustainability and versatility so important to your brand?
Right. And I'll actually talk about one style specifically, which is the one that we have right here. Very versatile. It's a piece that you can wear 4 ways. If you don't mind, I'm actually going to bring a model in to just show it real quick while I answer that
Oh,
question.
yeah. We love it.
Sarah? So she's going to show it, come in and show this piece, which is the Formidable. It's our most popular design. Right now, she's wearing it as a cape. This is my cousin, Sarah.
Hi,
And
Sarah.
she's going to go through all the different ways that you can wear this look. So this piece actually started off just as a top. When I designed it, I only wanted it to be worn as a blouse. And flip around for me and dip one arm in. And So I started taking it to shows, and I had ladies that said, you know what, I want to wear it like this instead. So don't you love this? I love that it's 2 layers.
Beautiful. Yes.
But it really is so rich and so, it's full, it's got presence. And do it one more. This is like the magic, the finale right here. Here's the
Right,
magic.
right.
So it can be worn as a skirt as well.
I
So
love it. I love it.
I love that approach with Besida. And thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's great.
I love that approach because, you know, you hear about sustainability and it's usually about how garments are made. For me, it's about the multiple ways that you can wear a garment. The skirt that I'm wearing right now can fit size 0 to size 10. You know, that's important for me because a lot of ladies, you know, we shrink. We have, you know, a time of the month where we're going to, you know, expand a little bit. And I just always wanted ladies to think of a different way they can wear their looks. So that's really important for us.
Wow, that's wonderful. I love that because you can go from day to night. You
Right.
can wear the skirt to work, and then if you want to be a little sassier at night, you know, pull it up off
Happy
your
hour.
shoulders. And
Yes.
you know, it's affordable, and you have multiple outfits to wear.
Yes.
And I think that's great. That's great.
It's definitely
Awesome. Awesome.
a bang for your buck for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. I had a couple of other questions to ask you. Um, with your products,
Mhm.
have you ever considered doing like a full lifestyle brand, going into home goods as well?
Absolutely. That is something I really want to get into. I also just want to make sure everything is made in Nigeria. That is
Right.
really important for me just because I feel like that's why I started the company and I don't want to shift too far away from that. So I'll be going to Nigeria next month, and I'm going to look into pottery because we've got a lot of talented artisans there that hand make all of the pottery. So in the future, absolutely. Right now, still focused on making clothes.
Right. And oh, that sounds great. I think Ashley has another question.
Yeah, the next question is, how long does it take your Nigerian workspace to produce a dress?
Right. So we have a pretty good and efficient, I guess, our staff is really efficient in making clothes. So we don't just have one person doesn't just make a whole garment. So we have steps. It's a assembly line. So for one dress, it could take just a matter of 3 hours, depending on the dress, to 8 hours, and some dresses taking 2, 3 days, depending on the garment. So this piece isn't lined, this top isn't lined, and the skirt isn't lined. So this one person can make about 3 of these in a day, as long as we have the assembly line going.
Right, right. I understand that. I was telling Lorena that my mom was a seamstress, and she often explained to me how you would make pieces in a factory or in a
Right.
workspace. One person didn't make the full garment, but maybe somebody just all they did was sleeves, you know, and
Right.
another person all they did were the bodice. So yeah, I totally understand. Any other questions, Ashley?
No other questions right now, but I will mention that Sophia put together a beautiful video that includes shots of her Nigerian workspace. And it's so great. It really gives a lot more clarity and detail to their mission and their work. And that comes out on Tuesday on our Instagram channel and our Facebook page. So please keep watching. This weekend is not the only weekend for the artisan market. We are continuing this for the next week. So
Yeah, thank you for reminding me about that. Yes, we are continuing to roll out videos. The artisan market will run through December 31st. So we will be, you'll still have time and opportunity to see all of Sophia's beautiful works and garments that she's created. You can get your mask and stay protected and safe during this time. And again, Sophia, I'd like to thank you for being a part of our market this year. And I hope all the best for you, and that I am looking forward to seeing some more pieces from you and your business grow.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you so much. I'm so proud to be part of the High Museum gift shop.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, so Ashley, who's up next?
So next up we have 100% Cool Efi, who we just need to turn on their video and their mic. If they scroll on, there they are. Hello.
Here we are. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, we're so glad you made it.
We did.
Yay, 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 yay. Let me tell the audience who's watching a little bit about you. This is Inga and Evija. They are the dynamic duo who are spreading words of encouragement and positive messages through their brands of handbags and accessories. So ladies, you are the creators of 100 Cool Efi, and I'd like to welcome you to Meet the Makers Live. How are you today?
Hi, we are good.
Doing good.
Doing
this
good.
Is and this is Evia.
Evia, yes. You know, you have such a wonderful story about how you started your business, and actually how you got to America. I think today is our International Day as well, Ashley.
Yeah.
Because we have, you know, our artisans, they do work, they get materials from all over the world. We've been to Germany, Nigeria, and now, you know, you ladies are going to tell us a little bit about how you got here and how you got started.
Yeah. So we came to US in early 2000s. We came with $50 in our pockets and a backpack.
And positive attitude.
Yes, and our background is actually in sports and physical education, so we didn't know much about art back in Latvia, but we met some friends who are artists here in US, and they introduced us to art. So we just started to mess around with it, started to sewing a little,
Painting, sewing,
recycling. Yeah, so that's how we got involved with it. And like now we are so much loving it, and we love the sustainability and positivity to spread good energy around the world. So that's how.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So now tell me, how'd you come up with the name 100% Cool Efi? And what is Efi?
Yes, Efi is actually my nickname. So we kind of, actually my nickname is Effa, and then we included E in the end. So Efi, so Evia and Inga. So that was a nickname.
And then everybody always told us that our product is 100% cool. And we like every single person stops at that.
Anywhere we are, comments were 100% cool. And so we added 100% cool in the front.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And so you know, you make
our customers gave us a name.
Yeah. And you make such a great product. Like I said, they have such good messages that you send. This one says support living artists. The dead ones don't need it. I love it. Our visitors love this slogan as well. So how do you come up with all these great and cool slogans?
Yeah, the inspiration comes from all over. It's like a conversation somewhere with some people, or like traveling and living out loud every day. So it's kind of a like, we don't have, like, inspiration comes from everyday living. So that's
right. And you have, I have another little piece here that if I can grab it. Oh, I don't have it, but oh, here it is. You give everyone
the little
something to look for. This, let me tell you, this $20 bill in the wallet throws everyone who picks it up. They're like, "Oh, is that real?"
It's
So
a
we
gift
love
from the
it. We love it.
universe.
Yes, a gift from the universe. If we can only make it real.
Magic dust.
Right now, tell me about the materials, because again, you do
Mhm.
recycle materials as well.
Yes, that's what we do. Like each piece is
Gloves.
different. Like we upcycle, repurpose clothing. So we cut up like shirts and pants,
all kinds of.
dresses, whatever we can get hold of. And
Wow.
that's how we create our products. Yeah, and we add different different
Inspiring,
images.
humorous.
Yeah, sometimes we hand paint the fabric as well. The one you're holding, that's the hand painted.
Oh, okay. I thought this may have been stamped, but you
and
hand
that,
painted.
yeah, the hand painted is the underneath the heat transferred image. So that's how we.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you use hand painting with heat transfer.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
and some of them.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're getting like a multimedia piece.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And it's usable. You know, you can
Practical.
put money in here and few cards. It's nice when you go out and about. It's very nice. Small.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And look at this.
Yes, we recycle that too.
There you go. There it is. Love. That's what we need to spread now.
Yes.
I love it. And
Yes.
with I noticed on your video you were rapping and you send a message, which I just think is just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome way. It's very unexpected, because the person who purchased it doesn't expect a positive message inside. That's just so unexpected. Yeah, I love
usually
it.
we send those when somebody orders online. We send a little letter with it and little check. It goes with it. Like you can write your own check, how much money you want to yourself. So it's kind of like,
I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, it's kind of a like that's our goal, is product design to bring
you joy.
joy.
So we're happy to hear that it's doing what we purposely trying to do and being ourselves.
Awesome.
Bringing joy.
That's awesome. Ashley's with us. Do we have any questions for
yes,
the
we
ladies?
do. What has surprised you about everyday living in the U.S.?
Good question.
First, something like we learn about food here, like boiled peanuts, fried green
tomatoes. They were like so interestingly weird and then we of course tried them out and got used to.
Yeah. What I usually why I like America, what inspires me the most is diversity of people. Because where we come from, it's small country and it's like the same people. Here is like from all walks of life, or all kind of traditions and backgrounds, and we are like so excited. I get inspired personally by being around diversity.
Now you didn't mention where you come from. Where are you from exactly?
Yes, it's from Eastern Europe. Latvia. It's a small country called Latvia. It's one of the Baltic countries. It's between Estonia and Lithuania. So it's small.
Oh, okay.
Latvia.
Beautiful. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, I bet.
Simple living in Latvia. Yes. We grew up in the
countryside, organically, everything around. And
it was beautiful to come to big America and still feel like, I don't know, ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will.
We have another.
I will say that the boiled peanuts thing, that's not really an American thing. That's a Southern thing, because I'm from the Midwest and that was new to me.
It's still in America.
I wonder, coming from your background, you said it was very organic there in Latvia. Did that really inspire the sustainability and the upcycling of your work?
Yes, very much so. very much so. Yes, we like recycle, because it's so sad to watch how
So
much
waste.
waste goes in the, like, we like to give new life to something
gross.
like what's about to be thrown away. So it feels good to give a new life to, like, one more cycle of the clothing before
Yeah.
they end up in the landfill. It feels good. Yes,
Yeah.
you are right. We got inspired, like the way how we grew up simply, and recycling and sustainability is very important to us. Yes.
Right. I think that makes a big difference, you know, here in America. Not everyone, but at times we can be so, I hate to say the word wasteful, but we don't see the next life of something, of a garment, or, you know, how to repurpose materials and use them in a better way, as opposed to, you know, just throwing them out, like Ashley said, in a landfill somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. So what else are you working on right now? We have a couple more minutes.
Yeah, the latest, like the previous artist was mentioning too, like we made the 2020 style, so we do masks.
Masks.
So choose joy.
Use joy. Spread joy. Yes, I love it. Yeah,
And we make them adjustable, so it's easy to fit for anybody, and 2 layers of cotton, so it's easy to breathe and wear.
Yeah, so
right.
that's
Latest.
since it's 2020, because like we started to make them for people in need, for first responders. So that was the original idea. That's how we started to make them back in
We
March.
knew how to sew. We had superpowers. We knew how to sew.
Love it.
Yeah, so we kind of pivoted a little bit, and people started to, all of us needed to have masks, so people started to ask, can you make me one, can you make me one, and somehow we just end up making a lot of masks. And
it's still
so
and I know with your masks, no two are alike. Even if they look alike, even if the fabric is similar, they're all different. We have them here in the shop, and you know, our customers say, well, I want another one like that, but there's not another one like that, because they're all individually made, and like you said, you make products to order. So you know, it's like you're wearing a unique piece every time you purchase. Which is awesome.
That's us.
Yeah. Well, ladies, I'd like to thank you. Unless Ashley has anything else. Do we have any more questions out there?
No, but again, I'm gonna promote our videos that are still coming out. You can see the video made by these two. It's great on Saturday on our Instagram and our Facebook. So please check it out. Go to hi.org/shop and check out all the great totes and different wallets and things that they have.
Yay.
And stop into the store too.
Right, the totes. Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay. Awesome. We are so excited to being with you guys this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Well, we just appreciate you working with us and being a part of the High Museum family here, and would like to wish you all the best and much success in 2021.
Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Happy holiday season. Happy shopping.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, Ashley, we've had a great number of folks join us this morning. This has been fun. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And just don't forget, everybody, you can go out and purchase all of the great pieces that you've seen this morning. Plus, we have more artisans on our website. We spoke with 5 other artists on yesterday. And but right now, waiting in the wings to pull up the rear, we have our last artist for today. And he creates fun products for the entire family. And you can be 5 years old or you can be 105 years old and still enjoy his product. So I'd like to introduce to you Mr. Jay Carlson, the creator and founder of Cluetown Book Publishing. Hi, Jay. How are you this morning?
Hey, Patricia. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good, good. I think we crossed the line. It's afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But I know that your business, and I saw it in your video, so you can't say no. We don't have child labor, but your business is truly a family affair, and you create fun and exciting products while educating, your customers. So tell us a little bit more about Cluetown and how it got started.
Yeah, so Cluetown, it started very simply, where I had a background designing puzzles for a newspaper, mostly just word searches and word jumbles, things like that. And I originally was trying to figure out a way to make a puzzle that you could solve outdoors. And then once I figured out there were these permanent landmarks in places like Piedmont Park, it sort of made it easier to incorporate that history, which isn't something that I originally set out to do, but now it's just a lucky accident where, there's a checklist whenever I do design a puzzle hunt. It needs to have history, it needs to have bathrooms nearby, it needs to have all these things that people kind of expect if they're going outside. But yeah, so it started out very innocently and just a simple solving experience, and it really blossomed into so much more that I did not foresee. People started telling me how they were using them. Mostly, families or date nights, out of town guests, showing them around town, and even just team building events. Just had so many facets that I did not originally think about, but I'm very grateful that people are so responsive to it, because I'm 8 years in, and each year I saw more than the year before. It's just been going extremely well. So I'm very happy. Pleased to be at the High Museum, obviously.
Oh yeah, well we're glad to have you. It is a favorite of our members and our visitors. We have calls coming in for them as well. They sell constantly on our website, but the one thing I like about them is that they're so colorful. This one is Emory University's Cluetown. Tell me about how you create the colors and the paper for the product.
Yeah, so, well, the interior, just to be clear, the inside is black and white. But yeah, for the cover, I tend to have a sort of retro aesthetic. I'm really just trying to distill everything down to just shapes, mostly. So like, for example, that cover you're holding is supposed to be a bookshelf, like in a library, but ultimately the way I kind of look at it is it's literally just like lines of color that sort of look like rectangles to me. It's just, I think I have here's a happy birthday one where it's really just, again, it's like 3 main colors, just sort of a repeating shape, but you still get that distillation of what the book is about.
Yeah, well, I guess one of my questions about the line is that, have you ever considered doing other cities?
Yes, I get that a lot. So it is currently, although my family does help out with the testing, things like that, it is still very much just a one-person business. And unfortunately, I wish I were faster at producing new hunts, but I really do try to produce 3 or 4 a year. That said, yes. So I started out doing in-town areas, neighborhoods, parks. And I'd say about a couple years ago, I started moving more regional. So I have an Athens, I have a Savannah. I've scouted some other areas that are actually out of state. I started working on a couple up in Chicago, actually. I don't have an anticipated release date for those, but yeah, it is something that I'm constantly thinking about, is not just branching out to other cities, but since I can't be in all the cities at once, I've started making puzzle hunts that you can solve in your house. So I have like these home hunts that work in anyone's home. The birthday hunt that I just held up, things like that, that work on more of a national level, and you don't have to necessarily be at a specific location.
Right. Well, I think that's great, especially since we are in a pandemic. Many parents are at home trying to educate their children in history, and they may not be the best historian. So Clue Town is a great way to teach your kids about the city of Atlanta, or like you said, Savannah is a wonderful town. And you know, you can even use it in home without even going to that actual place, but you can anticipate when we travel again to go there and visit and see all these great landmarks.
Right. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Ashley has a question for us.
Ooh.
Yeah. Jay, you must be a very inquisitive person, because not to out you, but a lot of my questions today came from you, and I'm very grateful.
I'm genuinely intrigued by vendors. Like, so whenever I go to festivals, oftentimes I love meeting other vendors, and I really miss that camaraderie because we just haven't had any festivals this year. So whenever you get me around other people who produce things, I'm just genuinely curious. So anyway, yeah, I'm thrilled to be here.
That's great. We have one question for you. How much research does it take to make one of your books? Is it just kind of going to the place and seeing what's around, or do you actually kind of sit down with books and research the places?
Both. It really depends on the product. So I have things that I call neighborhood mini hunts. Like here's one, for example, for Kirkwood, which is where I live. Those type of mini hunts, they're really more of just the puzzles, and the research there is just scouting. The bigger ones like Georgia Tech, something like this, I do a lot of research, and it's not just going on Wikipedia. Like I really do research in very fine detail just to make sure my facts are right, but also I know that the people who are solving this come in with this base set of knowledge. You know, most likely they're already familiar with the mascot and that kind of thing. So I really want to try to find new information that, yeah, just it's revelatory to them, even though it's like been under their nose the whole time. So yeah, I do a lot of research, especially when it comes to the larger hunts. But ultimately what I'm trying to do is give people an experience where they hit these iconic spots, but they're also hitting spots that have always been there, but they might not have ever noticed before.
Wow, that's great. And it goes to show that there's a lot of thought and ideas put into the product. And as you were talking, I was thinking about, hey, we don't have a high museum, Clue Town.
You know where to find me, so.
So we'll have to work on that for 2021, definitely, and put together a Clue Town. Of course, you know, we'll have to check with our curators and see what we can do. But also, do your kids enjoy helping you make? That's what I want to know. Do the kids enjoy helping dad make?
So, they're around, but I don't mind mentioning this. So whenever I first started, my kids now are 10 and 8. So when I first started 8 years ago, they weren't really capable of doing anything. I'd say right around when they turned like 5, 6, they would like help with some testing, in the sense like, you know, you give them a compass, which by the way, the larger books come with a compass and a pencil. So like the compass, they would be able to hold it and tell you which way is north. Now that they're more capable of like, you know, reading text and actually solving the puzzles, I've noticed the interest has waned in terms of helping me test. Because like a lot of times I'll just be like, hey, I really need to test these 2 puzzles out, you know, over in Decatur. Can you help me? And it's like, fine. You know, I think they're just so used to it. It's just like another day, you know, dad using me for testing. But you know, they do like it, but also I think they need a break from it.
Yeah, they're probably going to be more interested in just hanging out with friends and going places.
Well, whenever I do test, I do beta testing for all of my hunts, and I do many different tests. And whenever I say I do use my family, that's usually like the first pass. But what I love to do is I actually prefer not to know the person who's helping me test. I usually go on my Instagram and I'll just put out a call and just say, is anybody available Sunday at noon? And I'll get, you know, inevitably somebody or a couple of people who will come out and help me. And I'm grateful. Like it's very nice to have people who are willing to help, who you've never even met, but they take the time out of their day. So I prefer to like use people who are unbiased, but yeah, I will use my family if in a pinch.
if it comes down to it. Get out there and hunt.
You know, I've got some nephews that I might send your way.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And I think we should mention that your Instagram handle is @ClueTown or #ClueTown.
Correct.
Oh, great. Yeah. So if you want to see more of Jay's line, you can visit our website, www.hi.org, and click on shop, and you can go in and learn more about Jay, find out about what he's up to next and what he has new going on. And Jay, again, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. And I have a customer here. Actually, I have a customer, believe me. He is right here and he is buying Clue Town.
Yay!
There we
System
go.
works.
Yay!
Fantastic. Thank you.
So believe me when I say to my video fans out there, it's very popular. It's fun for children of all ages. It's such a great product and also very educational. And Ashley, what do you have out there?
Yeah, we have somebody asking, is there a little bit more detail on the in-home ClueTown books? Because you can't do any research there.
Sure. So the way those work is I have 3 different, what I call adventures. This is adventure number 3, but they all work the same way. They're pre-made and they work in anyone's home. It works off the idea that everybody's home has the same things in them. Everybody has a refrigerator, you know, a TV, you'll have an umbrella, things like that. So the way it works is the pages literally have these dotted lines, or I should say dash lines. When you cut on the dash lines, the back of each page is going to tell you where to hide it. So like this one will say, hide this page inside a refrigerator produce drawer. And then after all the pages are hidden, then you give the first page to the person solving it, and it takes them about 30 minutes to complete.
Oh, that's awesome. Great.
And then one more question. Are there suggested age ranges for your books?
Yeah, there are. I will say, so I do, again, a lot of testing, especially with children. I'd say starting at around 10 up is where they can start solving without any adult assistance. Not to say they're going to be there by themselves, but just if they're looking to complete it entirely by themselves, I'd say starting 10 up is where you that's sort of the starting point. You can go a little younger, I'd say as young as 6, but typically a lot of the puzzles are word puzzles and they're going to be over the head of somebody younger than, 8, I would say. So, but what I do is I actually design for adults, but I just like to test with children. So I think a lot of times people think they are just a product for kids, but truthfully, I mean, they work, whenever I did attend festivals, the one I would always hear is date night. It's like that's typically what people, from my experience, were using it for. But yeah, the age ranges, I'd say like 10 up is a really good, just firm rule. I'm not to say somebody younger couldn't do it, but definitely 10 up has been proven.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Jay. Again, this was so much fun. And I'm so glad you were able to join us this morning. And we love Clue Town. We look forward to Hi Clue Town coming hopefully in 2021. And I'm just putting that out there into the universe. Look, Nika and India said, put it out into the universe. So I'm doing just what they told me to do. So again, thank you. And I wish you and your family a healthy and prosperous new year and holiday.
Well, thank you, Patricia. And thank you, Ashley.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Well, Ashley, this has been so much fun. I think we could come up with a weekly series.
Oof, that would be definitely something.
Look, we can take our show on the road, actually.
You and me, Patricia.
Yep, today's show, move over. We're coming for you, Al.
QVC, your next host, right here.
Yep, right there. But this has been so much fun, and we thank everyone for joining us for both sessions of Meet the Makers live and participating in this virtual experience. We would like to tell you that you can shop all of our vendors on our web shop at www.hi.org, or you can come into the museum store We are open Tuesday through Sunday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And you can come in, touch and feel the merchandise, try it on, and see how you like it. Take it home for someone special, or just gift to yourself.
Especially today,
because
it's Museum Store Sunday.
Museum Store Sunday. Thank you for reminding me. Museum Store Sunday. Here we are, Museum Store Sunday. And if you purchase $50 or more, you will get a fun tote bag, which is down here. I'm gonna have to reach for it. Swing. And it has some goodies in there too. So
I'll be in a little bit, Patricia.
Okay, we're looking for you. Oh, that's right. You have to get your Clapton mug. Upsize.
I do. And a lot of other things.
Yeah, but again, we want to thank everyone. If you missed yesterday's session, please go to our Facebook or Instagram page, and you'll be able to view it then. We wish that you would have a safe, healthy, and wonderful holiday season. Spend time, if you can, with your family. Maybe you have to do it virtual, but spend time with your family and enjoy. And we look forward to seeing you here at the High. Bye-bye.
Bye.